All right, let's turn to this now. City Press again today reporting that a special council sitting of the Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati District Municipality approved a 38 million rand invoice for the construction of a call center. It's claimed that the structure in question is a shack, which allegedly never rendered any services. For more on this, we're joined now by the Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati District Municipality Manager, Itumeleng Jonas, as well as a former manager in the office of the Mayor, Fanon Moema. Good to have you, gentlemen, and thank you very much for your time tonight. So, Moema, let's begin on your side, having been in the office of the Mayor at the time when this was approved. I believe this was a meeting or a council sitting that set on the 27th of January 2022. What was the rationale around the establishment of this particular operation or call center facility?
Well, thanks for having us, and also let me give thanks to your viewers at home. So first and foremost, I think we must make it quite clear that when we're working in the office, we have never received such discussions, or we have never been in a position where the office of the Speaker summons the Executive Mayor to council to discuss such an item in the special meeting. So we are quite surprised by the revelations that the office of the former Executive Mayor, Thabo Mdluli, really was faced with such discussions. We have never came to a point where we discuss such.
Did this proposal come to council?
Insofar as we are concerned, and even insofar as the politics of the time are concerned, we have never been to a situation where the Executive Mayor goes to council to discuss that, or a situation where the Executive Mayor is informed of such an item. So the councillors of the EFF collectively with the Executive Mayor and the MMCs at the time, they have never been to a council where they discuss such an item.
Yeah. So are you then aware of this particular call center now that it is out in the open?
We are not aware about that particular call center, but because we had an MMC for community services, we did conduct several oversights across the different municipalities in the district, and we have never seen such a structure. And all we know about is the old structure, even however it was not functional even at the time. So hence, as the EFF during that time, we then placed a moratorium to say most of appointments of whether tenders of anything must be on a suspension, so that we could acquaint ourselves with all the infrastructures that are there and all the projects that are ongoing, and even those that were about to commence, so that we are able to check and conduct an oversight to be quite clear as to whether those projects were appointed through proper procedures insofar as supply chain management is concerned.
So you are saying that indeed, if such a contractor was appointed and such monies were spent, they would have been spent through processes that did not come to council?
Absolutely. If the such, then it means a irregular process place, because we are not aware of such. If it happens indeed during our tenure in that office of the Executive Mayor, because all the items, as the senior manager and also the Executive Mayor, I was the one receiving most of the, actually I may say all of the items that were tabled. I'm the one who received from the office of the Speaker, and there's never been a day or any council that said, and we receive such an item. So I can confirm to you that if that is the case, if it happened during our time, then it means it was an irregular process. The procurement of that particular project was actually irregular, because it means it has never been to council.
Yeah. In your view, 38 million on a call center, which apparently is a shack, does that constitute value for money?
Absolutely not. It can't be. It doesn't balance, because it can't be that 38 million can secure a share. Even any other infrastructure, the infrastructure was supposed to complement them. It was supposed to be properly allocated. But in this case, it makes no logical sense as to how will you then secure a check for 38 million. Even worse, you cannot call any center or any line of the district instance of Dr. Ruth, and you really get to a call through, because there's no functionality when it comes to also lines of communications in that municipality. So it makes no sense in that regard that the 8 million was used to procure the call center.
All right. Mr. Jonas, I hope you can hear us there, if you are still connected. Okay, we lost Mr. Jonas there on that line. So what do you say then should be happening here, Fanon, on this particular matter? I mean, are there investigations currently being conducted on this matter?
Yes, we do have councillors in that particular municipality, and we are going to also zoom deep into this particular matter and initiate fully blown investigations to try and establish really what happened, and also approach relevant institutions so that if those that need to be prosecuted, such must happen. And also we are going to ensure that none of those implicated in this matter enjoy any impunity, because it can't be that while the municipality is substantially paralyzed with no proper activities taking place insofar as service delivery is concerned, then it happens that the 8 million is procured merely for a call center, while majority of the residents of Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati District Municipality are suffering, they are languishing in poverty, but also there are no services, they have no access to water and other basic services. So it can't be correct that such amount of money is being used. But even worse, when we're in the office, there were times when over 200 million were turned back, because upon our arrival, we found that the municipality was dysfunctional. And we were told that Treasury is even returning back over 200 million on the basis that that money was not utilized. So we even during those times, we did even issue a media statement to say that can be correct. Let's look deeper into issues. Why can't we have services in the municipalities while the people are suffering? So we are really going to initiate investigations into this matter. We do have councillors there. They are going to ensure that there's proper oversight, and they will ensure that our people really get what they deserve.
All right. Mr. Itumeleng Jonas, I think you're now joining us on the line. According to the EFF, this matter was never brought before council for approval. So where exactly was this budget of 38 million approved?
Thank you very much, Thabo, and viewers at home. Let me just explain that the processes in terms of the appointment of the service provider was done in 2021 in December, and in 2022 February the MM then awarded the tender to the bidder. Now, the appointment letter stated categorically clear that the appointed service provider is appointed for 38 million for a period of 3 years. And therefore, this appointment letter stipulates that annually means the municipality has to budget a figure of 12 million. And in that 12 million, it does have certain activities. It's not only about that structure. There are things in place in terms of the components to set up the structure, the annual license fees, the monthly fees, the ad hoc training that needs to take place.
Yeah.
So therefore, it means annually the municipality has to budget to the figure of 12 million.
But before we get to the budget of 12 million, I need to understand what was the process, because by the time you are advertising this and there's a figure that's put on there, there is a process prior that would give the specs to this particular contract, what is required, and what is the rationale and why you need one.
There was a process before you even go out on the advertisement. The first process is to identify as to whether there is a need for a call center. And therefore, the relevant directorate submitted to council for an approval of a call center through budget process. And therefore, council then approved a budget for a call center.
Yeah.
And immediately after council has approved a budget for a call center, the relevant directorate will then draft specification to a specification committee that will then be presented before a specification
So
committee.
are you saying Mr. Moema would have missed that process of the budget being presented before council? Because he says this never, ever appeared before council, according to him.
It does. It did appear before council. That's why I'm saying to yourselves that the processes kick-started in 2021, where the budget was approved by council.
Yeah.
And eventually, the municipal manager there then, Re Solani, appointed a service provider to the tune of 36 million for a period of 3 years.
How was that service provider appointed? What was the process? Was the adjudication committee that was set up?
There was a specification committee. It went out on advert, and there were 4 bidders that tendered. And the appointed service provider, Cyber, was the lowest amongst all of them. That is why I'm saying to yourself that in terms of the processes of the supply chain management, everything went off board. There was a committee, there was an evaluation committee, and there was an advertisement, and obviously there were bidders that went through the bidding processes. Yeah. And among them, the 4 of them, the cheapest one was then appointed, which is Cyber JV, as a result of the processes that started from the budget process.
Yeah. How senior were the people who were sitting in this adjudication, bid adjudication committee?
The seniority, the fact of the matter is that in terms of the regulation, you need to have at the level of the adjudication, senior managers, all the senior managers from the CFO, Director Community Services, Director that was there, the Director of Economic Development, all the senior managers were there when the tenders was eventually awarded at the adjudication level. And therefore, it means in terms of the component of the regulation, it was compliant.
So, Mrs. L. Nkomo, was she the chairperson of that adjudication committee?
She was the acting CFO by that time.
She was the acting CFO. And what was her qualification at the time?
As an acting CFO, it means in his original position, she's a supply chain manager.
So she was the supply chain manager. That was her position.
She's a supply chain manager, acting as a CFO in that point in time.
We are with the Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati, District Municipal Manager, Mr. Itumeleng Jonas, Fanon Moema, EFF Northwest Head of Communications. Mr. Jonas, let me come back to you then. The picture that we are showing now in the media and that has been published in the newspaper City Press, is that a picture of the final product of what the contractor gave to you for 12 million over 3 months? Over 3 years. Over 3 years, I beg your pardon.
Thank you once Thabo. Like I indicated that in the tender document, to set up fees which is composing of the structure, the professional fees, the equipment, and the once-off figure for that particular activities, including the licenses in the system, the monthly fees, the training component,
yes,
are to the value of 4.5 million. Now it means once he has put the structures and everything, we can only release the figure of 4.5 million. And in that figure, he does have the training that he needs to provide to employees that have been appointed.
Yeah.
So at this particular moment, we have not even yet paid a figure of 38 million like it's been indicated in the newspaper.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Yeah.
To set up, to train, to pay for license fees, is to the value of 4.5 million.
Yeah.
And other activities that this bidder will then on monthly basis do will be subjected to the approval of the relevant director and the municipal manager.
So let's go line by line. Let's go line by line and understand what you're saying. So you're saying what we are seeing there in the picture right now, that is work that is amounting to 4.5 million rands. What exactly would you have been paying for? How much is the structure? Don't put it in the context of training and whatever else. How much did you pay for that structure?
Let me just specify. The structure inclusive of all the components inside,
yes,
is to the value of 1.06 million.
1.3 million.
Including the license fees, including the training, and including the setup inside the structure. So the value of the entire system is 1.3 million. It's not 38 million that is being reported.
Yeah. So how much did you pay for each desktop? Because the figure that we are being given is that you are actually paying double, it seems, the retail amount for something like headphones, if not triple, than what you're actually supposed to be paying.
Let me just point it out. We are saying here that this is what was an open tender, and there were bidders. There were 4 bidders. The first bidder bidded almost 44 million. The second bidder bidded 42 million. And the last bidder bidded 38 million. It means it's a competitive bidding process. But we will break down for you, Thabo, the exact amount of what is being composed of. For the desktop, it's to the tune of 82,000 rand. Yes. 82,371 for the desktop.
Right.
And therefore, there are other components inside the desktop. It's not just the desktop. Yeah. A desktop must therefore have a license for the program that you are putting inside.
Yeah.
But the desktop, we receive them at 82,3 when we break down for an asset register. But the tendering process is per se. It went out on an advert where everybody bidded. And he was the cheapest amongst all of them. Yeah. It means there was a comparative market prices to check who is the cheapest amongst all of them.
So you are saying that they are saying here you are paying that 32,000 for a computer monitor, which would retail for 2,999. You're saying it's not a computer monitor; it's a whole computer, it's a whole desktop.
The whole
that
computer
you're paying 32,000
the licenses of all of them.
Okay.
That is not true.
And are they working? I mean, having spent that amount of money, is this call center operational? Are you deriving
the call
value
center? The call center is operational. The workers currently at the call center that are working 24 hours. I'll also point it out that obviously the directorate responsible, the director of community services, for a period of almost 3 months, they have been demanding some reports for us to then execute the payment. And then this payment where we hold for a period of three months as a result of the demand that we wanted a proper report of a system for us to approve. And therefore we can't say to us that we are not demanding reports as official. And at the present moment, we can even tell you that the service provider tries to call me on several times and demanding that he must be able to give us a report that we are requiring in terms of the FLA, so that we are able then to execute that particular payment. Because without report, we will not be able to do the payment.
Why do you need a call center in that yard when there is already a call center that is existing there?
According to what I have seen, because I arrived in December last year when already the processes were already above board, the appointment of service provider and everything. When you check the needs and what was then needed by that time was that this call center will be an inclusive call center where it has to deal with service delivery challenges where there are currently water spillages and also water challenges on all local municipalities. And for that particular reason, they needed a call center that will then assist the communities in making sure that we are in line with the appointment of the call center. But nevertheless, it's as a result of the decision that was then done by the provincial government that the district, in each and every district, there must be a call center, an inclusive call center that will then address the challenges and the needs of the communities. Therefore, it starts from the administration of the provincial government when they address that in every district, there must be a call center. Yeah. There was a call center in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, and when you check, Dr. Ruth was the last one to appoint a call center.
But there was already a call center. There was already a call center in the yard. There was already. Why do you have to build another one? Then, when there is one already there, couldn't these service delivery issues of water leakages and whatnot have been addressed by the call center that was already there?
It was not a call center. Let me indicate my assessment when I came in and checked what was the problem in the call center. It was not a call center. You need to have certain instruments to have a call center. Just a phone is not a call center. There are certain things that you need to put in the call center that will then allow you to respond to the queries of the public. And therefore, to have just a telephone and a person being there in a building, you can't say that you are operating a call center. A proper call center where we make a research. We even have to drive ourselves to Durban in Newzroom for that particular matter, to try and look into the issues in relation to the call center. What is it that they are doing better in trying to make sure that they are addressing the water challenges, the blockages, and other matters. I have to thank the Directorate of Community Services to go and check thoroughly what is being done at the Newzroom in the call center of the Newzroom. And we wanted something of that particular nature when I arrived in the municipality.
So, according, sorry, Mr. Jonas, because of time, I'm just pressing you. So, according to you, this call center would not be serving issues of community safety, fire hazards, and so on and so forth, because it does seem that the mandate for this call center is not coming from those particular departments.
Yes, the mandate comes from the community services. They wanted basically a call center that will then be inclusive of service delivery, not only dealing with fire fighting, because the one that we had was only dealing with firefighting. You must remember, as a district, we are not only dealing with firefighting services, we are also a water service authority. There are water challenges, there are spillages. So to incorporate all those issues in the call center, it will require certain specific issues that will determine as to whether there are spillages in the line.
Right.
And it must be able to determine in the call center with screens that there are spillages in this line, or there are pipes that are best that need to be attended to. So that is a kind of a model of a call center that we need in order to make sure that we are reducing the water challenges at a district level and the spillages that the district is currently facing. And that's exactly the call center that we need, not just the calls. Receiving a calls from somebody that there is fire and you are paying somebody just to be on the phone. We want an inclusive call center that will then be able to detect the challenges and the problems that we are facing at the district level.
And now this call center you're saying is operational. According to you, there are people who are employed, it's operating. Why has the call center not reported to council? Why has there never been a report to council about this call center?
Like I indicated to you now, the payment that was then done to the call center was as a result of what we had put in, and there was a certified invoices for that. At this point in time, like I indicated to you, we have more than 3 months not be able to pay an invoice because we want a proper report that I can be able to table before council to say this is the activities in the call center. But by the way, we are sending Section 71 report on monthly basis to council. Section 71 means an expenditure report that you are sending as an MM to council. And if there is any questions that council wants to pose on the expenditure, they are at liberty to do that. So it will be wrong to say that the report has not been forwarded to council. On monthly basis, we are producing Section 71 that we are basically cabling to National Treasury. Therefore, in terms of the expenditure of any expenditure within the institution, we are sending those particular reports.
All right, Mr. Jonas, appreciate your time. Mr. Moema, you heard there, you could have missed the presentation to council on this particular project. The budget was approved there, and there were adjudication processes that were conducted, and there were 4 bidders, one at 44, another at 42, another at 38. Eventually, this was the best value for money. And so far, only 4.5 million has been spent, not 38 million.
Yes, sir. So even if that was the case, immediately we assumed office, we then initiated a moratorium to say, in that moratorium, it was not only moratorium, it was moratorium to say no project must proceed, so that we are able to monitor anything that happens under our watch, one. But two, we also requested a report from all departments to say, submit a report in terms of all the vacant projects, of all projects that are ongoing, of all the projects that are stuck, that are not actually giving any fruit, so that we are able to acquaint ourselves with what is ongoing, but also to be able to hold administration accountable, because we are well aware that across the province and also the municipality itself, the municipality in question, there is a staunch alliance between the administration and the agency mayors, speakers, you can name them. So we then said for us to be able to hold them properly accountable is by also acquainting ourselves with what is actually ongoing, so that we are able to actually bring everyone to book insofar as corruption is concerned. So in that regard, we never even received such a report. So we do have that moratorium on record. We do have such a request to the then municipal manager, the accounting officer of the municipality in question, Mr. Jolani, to say bring all that information before us. But insofar as our role is concerned, we are not aware of such an item being tabled before council and also the discussions thereof.
Let's leave it there. Much appreciated, and thank you for your time, both of you. That is Mr. Itumeleng Jonas. He is the municipal manager at the Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati District Municipality, and Fanon Moema, EFF Northwest Head of Communications.